Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Daily Meditation with Coach Rob Hamley, brought to you by Sluggers Sports Academy. You can find myself and Sluggers on our social media platforms, which will stream through at the end of this episode. Please give us a share, give us a like, and a comment if you like the content that you're hearing. We're doing this for our community, and let's continue to grow that community. Let's continue to grow that sphere of influence and bring something positive to the world. It's really easy to search out for that negativity. However, think about shifting the mind towards positives. When you shift your mind towards positives, you become a tuning fork to the positive energy around you. So, on that note, make sure you're in a comfortable position. Let's start getting into our breath and focusing on this present moment, being focused, being mindful, bringing our attention to the breath, either counting the breath or just falling into that natural organic pace. The goal being almost where you are not focusing on your breathing, but the breath is breathing you, just your natural rhythmic pace. And any thoughts that come to mind about the past or the future, just being neutral with those, allowing them to fade off into the distance. Not worrying about the thoughts themselves, because it's just normal, that's human to have these thoughts flood into our minds, especially as we are trying to be quiet. And maybe through these meditations you've noticed how hard it really is to quiet the mind. In the breath, our breathing can help draw our focus away from that and center ourselves, being mindful. Understanding that our thoughts aren't something to stress over or feel anxious about. They're our thoughts, and therefore we can control them and use them in our favor. So for our Thursday Thoughts edition, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about our thoughts. It's going to be just a quick one, just a quick little Thursday talk to get us going wherever you're at, whenever you're listening, to focus on our thoughts. The ancient Stoic Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, number 12.3, stated, "You have been formed of three parts, body, breath, and mind. Of these, the first two are yours, insofar as they are only in your care. The third alone is truly yours." Marcus Aurelius. Thinking that the body can be ravaged by disease or injured or disabled, or any number of things can happen to our physical form. It can be imprisoned or subjected to torture. If you ever have listened to or read the works of Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor, he talked about what it took to keep himself sane through some of the most extreme tortures that a human being can go through. And here Marcus Aurelius talks about that as well, where the body can go through so much. And it's truly just our mind that we can control. In his meditations, Marcus mentions how it's not that the other two parts of life, our body and our breath, don't matter. It's just that they're less ours than our mind really is. Almost like you wouldn't spend time fixing a house that you're maybe just temporarily in or renting, as opposed to one that you own that's truly yours. Our mind is ours, free and clear. For better or for worse, it's with us. So let's make sure we treat it right. So on this Thursday thought, let's think within. Let's get introspective and really think about our thoughts. And I know I've been telling you not to think about your thoughts during our meditations or being neutral with them, but let's really look here and think on how we can attack today. Maybe you're listening to this in the morning, you're in your nice comfy bed, or you're in a comfy seated position, really just getting that breath where it needs to be, ready to start the day. However, we have to understand that once we leave this comfortable place, we are subjected to everything that life has in store for us, the things that we can't control around us. What can we control? If you said the mind, then you are correct. There's a great African proverb that states, if there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So as we move through the day today and we come across certain emotions and feelings and people and external factors, let's focus within. Let's bring ourselves back to the breath, being present, being focused, keeping ourselves focused on what it is we are trying to do. I can attest to, for me, it's really easy to get off track. It's easy for me to get off task. So what I've learned is I have to make a list, and that keeps me moving in the right direction and referring to that list, knowing, okay, I have to go from A to B to C, and it keeps me focused in the present task that I'm working on. The other day I was working on some DIY stuff around the house, and every now and then something I know I need to get to as well creeps into my mind, and all of a sudden I kind of feel that little sense of panic. However, then I remember, what can I do about it right now? I need to focus on this project that I'm working on right now before I can move on to the next. And our thoughts can be organized in the same way. Focusing on what I need to do right now, what I'm doing before I think about what happened prior to this and what's going to happen after this. I always tell my players and my students, the past is this, the future is that. This was this, and that is that. Let's focus on right now. Because at the end of the day, that's all we can do. Be in the present moment. The 6 inches in front of our face. Getting within our own headspace. Being mindful. Meditating even throughout the day. Keeping this meditative thinking going. Knowing full well that we're going to walk out into an imperfect world that will do anything and everything it can to get us out of our mind. Gandhi once said, if you want to change the world, start with yourself. And that should bring comfort, knowing that I control the circumstance around me by how I control my mind. Something as simple as taking that deep breath, slowly releasing that breath. It's amazing what that can do to bring the mind back to clarity, bring the heart rate down, allowing us to really give ourselves a fighting chance for great thought. So when we control our breath, we control our thought, we then can control our physical output. And are we going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Perfection does not exist. However, we can have perfect execution moving forward throughout our day. I hope this was of great benefit to you. Give us a like, give us a share. Let's get this community growing even more. It's been really exciting seeing and hearing from those of you who are listening. And if you're finding benefit from this, all we ask is that you share it out. Give our page a like. And we can't wait to see you tomorrow. Remember, keep slugging.